My name's Emma Bailey and I head up the tax and incentives practice at Fox Williams. I'm going to talk to you today about the changes to the tax treatment of termination payments which are going to come into force from the 6th of April this year. And I'm primarily going to focus on the changes which relate to payments in lieu of notice provisions or not in contracts. Just before I focus in a bit more detail on the changes to the payment in lieu of notice provisions, it's worth noting the other changes that are going to be coming into force from the 6th of April. Firstly, there's going to be an abolition of the foreign services exemption, so it'll be no longer possible for UK resident employees to claim the foreign services exemption when a termination payment is made to them, unless they're a seafarer. Secondly, if any part of a termination payment relates to injury to feelings, then it will no longer be possible to argue that that's exempt from tax under the personal injury exemption unless the individual is suffering from something that constitutes a recognised psychiatric condition or some other recognised mental health condition. The change which was supposed to be introduced this year, which was supposed to put Class 1A national insurance contributions onto termination payments above the 30,000 thresholds, is not going to be now introduced until the 6th of April 2019. So it will only be from that date that termination payments above the 30,000 threshold will be subject to both income tax and Class 1A employer liability NICs. So in terms of the payment in lieu of notice provisions, the main aim of the changes, or what the government wants to achieve when it's introducing the changes, is to ensure that all payments in lieu of notice which are made to an employee on termination of the contract are taxable whether or not the employee has got a contractual pile-on provision, contractual payment in lieu of notice provision in their employment contract. So the government wants to make sure that any payments which are made to employee which effectively recompense them for any period of unworked notice are taxed as if they were just earnings from the employment. That hasn't been the case up to now. Up to now, if a termination was paid in respect of a period of notice, if there was no contractual pile-on in the employment contract, then that payment could have been made as a pure termination payment and subject to the £30,000. When the new changes come in, that will no longer be possible.